after the event, really, because and we are live. We're only 12 hours late, so sorry, guys.
What have they done to my bonnet? I look like that really. Well, the French cartoon. I remember. God, we got similar Tintin-like bonnets going on.
Yeah,
I'm not. Sure. It's not what I ordered anyway, but yeah, I guess we'll ride with it.
How often do you get yours cut?
Well, I have a fetish apparently for going to random hairdressers and paying like £8 and just seeing what happens.
Right.
So in this case, they've turned me into Tintin. And I actually showed them a photo of Tintin, the cartoon, and said, "Whatever you do, don't make me look like this." And what have they done? They've decided, right, let's make him look like Tintin.
Did they not understand? Did they think you were giving directions to look like Tintin?
I think they may have been, but for £8, I mean, whatever, you know. And the good thing is, we're both of full barnet wears, so luckily it grows back, so they can fuck up a haircut royally, and you know, whatever. 6 weeks down the line, it's fine again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've actually this year taken to get mine cut every 2 weeks, because before I was leaving it like every. I was leaving it like once a month, and this year I thought, right, keep it looking sharp. So I've been doing it every 2 weeks. Down in there's a place down the road here, that Albanian place, which is not expensive.
The Albanian.
Yeah, proper dodgy. Yeah.
Do they spray you with that weird aftershave afterwards, like the really cheap aftershave? Yeah. And then they do all that, and they style it up with this greasy gel, and then I have to go home and wash my hair and wash my body to get all the crap off. But I don't have the heart to tell them not to do it, because
I've been telling them not to do it, because I only live 5 minutes away anyway. So I'm just like, no, I'll do my own. I'll do my own. But
that was a dark horse place, actually. Speaking of the devil, that we never went to, which our former colleague Joe used to rave about.
Well, I have been there.
Oh, you have? With your missus?
Yeah. I went there with my ex. Yeah.
Did you see a lot of worldies strutting around?
I not really. We went slightly out of season though, so I don't know if it was peak season. Within Tirana itself, not really. There was a few people around the beach area, but it wasn't peak season, so it wasn't quite the full thrust of it. I'm sure you could have an amazing time there, but obviously I was with a girlfriend and it was outside of peak season, so I probably didn't get the very best sort of impression, view of it from that point of view. But it was a great place. I mean, I would go back. It was cool.
Was it Tirana you just stayed, or did you go down to the coast as well?
No, we went down to the coast, but the coast is quite far. It takes like 3 or 4 hours by car.
Sarandé.
Yeah, it takes about 4 hours or so. But I mean, Tirana is really good. It's a bit like the West, but 20 years ago. So you go into a restaurant and everyone's smoking inside, and everyone's wearing these kind of clothes that look like they came out of an 80s catalogue, and everyone's
there's certain funness to that. I think I'd like to go there, but Joe made it out, and again, no reason to doubt what he said, but he made it out to be, look, if you're a foreigner, you really have to operate quite stealthily in terms of picking up women, because they're quite protective of their own.
Yeah.
And given it's the only Muslim country in Europe, possibly that could be correct. Interesting.
That might be true. It might be true. I mean, like I say, I didn't get involved on that level at all. But I mean, there's certainly some very attractive Albanian women, who I've met in London and different places. So they definitely exist. But
they're a good stock. They're a good stock.
Albanian rap music is really mental, by the way, because they play it in this. There's a few Albanian places around here, and of course in London, Albanians are known to be heading up the drug dealing kind of side of things now. So they've got all these Albanians. There's a group called Hellbanians who do rap music, and it's basically they're all like in the video with like guns, like waving guns around with balaclavas on, and these Mr. M's finest girls like twerking in the video.
That's quite funny.
Pretty insane, yeah.
Good stuff.
Anyway,
indeed. So without further ado, last stream we were talking about red flags in women and some stories from the Francis catalogue. And today we're going to continue. We've got a few more points to go through, and we may go off on a tangent. As usual, comments and questions, please load them in. And if they're relevant, we may come to them, the parish notices. And just a quick reminder, as usual, upcoming boot camps, Mexico City, 9th to the 12th of April. Myself and Les running the show. Bogota, House of Seduction, 16th to 22nd. Myself, Troy, Les, and David Garcia in town. Going to be awesome. And then end of April, last weekend of April, Buenos Aires away. Phenomenal place. The equivalent of a bit of a dark horse place, a bit of an Albania in Europe, but in Latin America, because it's quite a far flight. So most Americans don't go there. It's off the beaten track. But whenever I've gone there and taken clients there, they love it because the women are quite cultured, quite sophisticated, very, very attractive. They don't meet many Europeans because it's just quite far down Latin America. Weather's great. It's still cheap, even though the currency's been tied to the dollar. It's still really good value. Best steak, best red wine in the world. I love it for that reason alone. And then on top of that, you have extremely feminine women, you know, to seduce, to talk to attract, to banter with, to have fun with.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, I mean, I have to say, when I've been in other places like Mexico and maybe even Colombia a little bit, when you would meet Argentinian women, they were always the best looking.
Interesting.
I particularly in Mexico, actually, when I was in Playa del Carmen with Mr. M on our honeymoon after the
sharing a treehouse.
After the treehouse. I remember. I mean, there was a few women there who were Argentinian, and they were very, very good looking. I mean, is it true that they have this kind of haughtiness about them though, because they consider themselves to be the best of the Latin American, or is that a bit of a myth?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? I don't really know. I mean, I've met some stuck-up Argentinians. I've also met some very down-to-earth ones, and I think it's just case by case. But I don't think there's an agenda that they're particularly arrogant on purpose. But it's a really fascinating place to go. Like, it should be on every man's bucket list just because it's interesting. It's just got a cool vibe, very attractive women. You can go. It's just a very interesting nuance because I spent a lot of time in Brazil, and I spent a lot of time in a city called Sao Paulo, like 25 million people, big, you know, lots of attractive Brazilian women, very flamboyant, very extrovert. And Buenos Aires is a 3-hour flight, so I often pop over from Sao Paulo to Buenos Aires. Yeah. And it's hard to explain the difference. They're a bit more low key, a bit more chill, but also very, very good looking and very, very sexual. So if you like your darker brunettes, think freckles, think lean bodies, but a very kind of sexual vibe, Buenos Aires is the place. And we've got a few days to kill, so we may even go up to the university town, the second city, Cordoba, which is an hour away. Extremely attractive women there. Big university population, very, very friendly. They pride themselves on being friendlier than Buenos Aires. And you can use that as an opener. You can say, I've just come from Buenos Aires, but I prefer Cordoba. You guys are a lot more fun, a lot more open. Yeah. We do this the whole time. Same city, same with Mexico City and Guadalajara. Play against Guadalajara. Yeah. Oh, we prefer you guys. You know, you're more warm, more friendly, and they play up to that role. Yeah. So we may pop down there with a couple of clients. We've got two confirmed, and we've got space for 2 more for Buenos Aires. But any of those are good options for Latin America. We will after that be going back to Europe, to Warsaw, to start the Warszawa to start the European leg for the next 4 or 5 months. Not an elephant leg, not the doner kebab, but just the traveling leg. So final chance you're going to get to join us for a year. The last, April is Latin America 101. So if you've been thinking about this stuff for a while, but you just haven't been able to pull the trigger and you just think, fuck it, you know what? These clowns, Tusk and Troy, they're buffoons, but they seem all right, actually. Maybe I will go out and join them and approach a bit and have a bit of fun.
We had some good comments actually earlier because we put this stream up earlier and then we didn't do it because we had to move it back for various reasons. But Mr. Bongo McKee, who's obviously now not watching, but he said the best show on YouTube at the moment. And then he said, these guys and the rest is history are my 2 top favorites at the moment. So
the rest is history. I actually listened to that podcast. It's like really cool retellings of historical events, like from the medieval times and stuff. It's actually quite listenable. Yeah. It's good on Spotify.
Well, I looked at their channel. They've got about 500,000 people. So we must be doing something right.
Oh, God, yeah. I forgot about that. You used to write for Return of the Kings, didn't you?
Yeah. So he says, Troy's one of my favorite from Return of Kings. Was hoping you came to NY for a happy hour. And then Bongo says, wow, you're old. Well, what does that mean?
You've actually been around this industry longer than most of these watchers have been alive, in your credit, and you're still going.
Well, it's a bit like when you date somebody who's Gen Z and they were born after 2000. It's like, oh my God, Jesus Christ.
So that would make them still 26 now if they're born in 2000, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck. We're getting old, man. 86 for me. Yeah, slightly older for you.
Scary times.
We're all heading from the cradle to the grave, as that great DMX and Jet Li movie once was titled. Anyway, so what have we got on the agenda then? Red flags. Point number 5, I believe we're up to.
Well, I think, yeah, we done red flag number 5. So, I mean, look, to be honest, I think we've come to the end of the stories now, as far as mine are concerned. I can probably drop some more in, but then there's a few other points just to go through to talk about red flags more generally. But just as a recap for people maybe who didn't see the last one, the last red flag I was talking about was this girl called Miss S, who was hooked on heroin since she was a kid. Her father was supplying her drugs. She has a chaotic romantic history. Apparently some wealth in the family as well, horses and a Paris flat. And the lesson from that was money does not equal stability. So you can meet women who are affluent, but that doesn't mean that they're together. In fact, wealth combined with trauma can create a very dangerous personality. And we said, this is the decadent chaos archetype, beautiful surface, total instability underneath. And the thing with that is, I mean, there's a lot of red flags, but I'm also very drawn to an archetype like that, you know? So it's sort of yin and yang. It's sort of like we're drawn into the flame, you know? And it's like, should we resist the flame or not? That's always the question for me.
What was it called? The decadent archetype?
The decadent chaos archetype.
I mean, that's essentially our archetypes, isn't it, as well? The opposite way around.
Well, it's quite funny because when I was with this lady, I said to her, she said, "Oh," she just said something like, "Oh, I know you like me," and I was like, I said, "Yes, you're very much my archetype," and the reason why I said that was because partly the way she looks, but also because she was going. Just some of the things she was saying. She was like, "Oh, I'm going to move to Paris after this. I can't, it's so much more artistic and all this." She was really like, it was kind of like a Magda on steroids. There's a lot of catnip there for me. Mm-hmm. And I said to her, "You're like my perfect archetype," and she went, "Archetype?" And then I had to backpedal very quickly. I said, "No, but you're a beautiful, unique person in your own right. Of course, you're massively individual, but but the thing is, the reality of it is." One of the reasons that I was drawn to her is because there is a certain type that I go for, which is partly based on looks, but it's also to do with personality and their taste and the thing they're into. And it just so happens that she does fit massively into that. But of course, do you think
it is archetype then, or is it individual? Or are you actually attracted more to the archetype of that particular kind of set of women?
Well, I think there's an attractive woman, like, I look at a picture of Sydney Sweeney and I'm like, yeah, she's hot. Yeah, she's attractive.
Who is this Sydney Sweeney everyone's banging on about? I don't even know what she looks like. I'm Googling her. Sydney Sweeney.
Should we bring her up?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, yeah, I could get behind that, metaphorically and literally.
I mean, I think the
28 though, man. She's 7 years past your age cap. Well, let's be honest. She's 28 years young. You go for not a day over 20. I mean, she's okay. I can see she's the cute net girl next door vibe, right? I guess.
Yeah, I mean, she's. I think physique wise, she's great.
Right.
Facially, she's pretty, but the point anyway. The point I'm making is just, yeah, I can say, yeah, Sydney Sweeney, she's attractive, but she doesn't necessarily, as far as I know, have the other attributes. And there are certain women that have these other attributes that are actually more to do with personality, and more to do with their interests, their aesthetic and stuff like that. And certain women slot very neatly into that. And that I am really drawn to. And I can't really explain why. Does that make any sense?
It does. And given that you are the only common denominator for all these women in terms of you're the common factor in all of these women, what red flags do they tend to share?
Well, they tend to be sort of drug addicted, kind of maniacs, really. Here we go, Sydney Sweeney.
Sweeney. I mean, that's like, I wouldn't say that. I've met some of your catalogue of exes. I wouldn't say they're all drug addicted maniacs.
Well, no,
90% of them, perhaps.
Sorry,
90% of them, perhaps, but no, they're not. I mean, they're quite sweet. I think, from my understanding of your archetype, they're quite sweet, innocent. Butter wouldn't melt on the outside.
Yeah,
as Torero would once said. Oh, here we go. 14 minutes in, kitten on the outside, tiger on the inside. Right? They present very well, and they're the sort of girl that would probably star in like Downton Abbey, right, as an extra. You think, oh, she's a really good girl, wears a nice little pretty dress, and then into railing lines secretly at her grandmother's funeral, that kind of vibe, right? The darkness inside. But then again, you're quite like that. You're quite presentable on the outside. And then behind closed doors, God knows, all bets are off, right? So maybe it's a mirror in a way.
Yeah, possibly. I mean,
Quite well-to-do, quite feminine, quite dainty,
Yeah, you're right, because I mean, I'm exaggerating. Not all of them obviously are drug crazed maniacs. A few of them have been, but others are they're not necessarily into drugs. They're not necessarily even into drinking that much, but they've got certain slightly obsessive personality traits. I don't know.
A strong shadow side.
Yeah, and that isn't necessary. I mean, like my ex, I told you, I think was actually quite addicted to internet shopping, which was, I think, was a manifestation for her of some kind of addictive nature. But that's not attractive in itself. I wasn't like, oh yeah, I love her internet shopping. You know, that wasn't the thing. But it's just that those personality types, there's something, I guess, a bit compelling about it. But I've met more obvious versions where they have been addicted to cocaine, they have been in rehab, they have, you know, etc., etc.
Right.
And I think if you have a bit of an addictive tendency, you tend to just be drawn to people with that as well, within reason, unless they're an old boiler, of course. You know, there's got to be some kind of aesthetic thing there as well.
If I think about very good girls I've dated, there was a virgin I met in Odessa when we first went there. It was amazing, about 10 years ago. And she wouldn't sleep with me, flew her out to Sarajevo for a boot camp there when I was doing that, put her in a house, hooked up with her. But she was a very, very good girl, but just, I found it boring. I like women that pull away from me. I'm the same. I like the darkness within. Now, there's got to be balance. They can't just be a complete dick to me. There's got to be an intense kind of passion, physical, chemical vibe going on. And we just find it flow state. But they've got some darkness for sure. I find that engaging. And often when they'll pull away, I want them more. Because I like the chaos, I think. I'm also built, I thrive in that chaotic vibe from a woman. I hate to say it. I'd like to just be happy with a stable, non-drug addicted Magda. A lesser spotted Magda of the non-drug, chaotic variety, but it's just not very fun, is it?
No, it's not really. So I think there is, as much as we always say guys are very visually fixated, and we are, like what she looks like obviously matters a lot.
Yeah, but if she's done a dick water, man, I don't give a fuck anymore. Both of us are done with that. We've dated some very attractive women. There's just not much going on vibe-wise, and actually, we're just like, fuck it, we're just bin them off. There's got to be a spark there.
That was why I brought up the Sydney. I mean, look, I don't actually know that much about Sydney Sweeney, apart from having seen her in.
She's a drug addict maniac, obviously. What's she in?
Well, have you seen her in White Lotus?
No, but I've seen that scene in White Lotus where he talks about becoming a ladyboy and getting railed. Yeah. That's all I've seen. I need to watch this show. She does play a drug adult maniac in White Lotus, or not a maniac, but she plays the kind of character I would actually be probably really attracted to, which is she's from quite a rich family. So I mean, it's all rich people in that show, really, but she's from a rich family. She's the daughter, and she's just doing Xanax the whole time. They're smoking spliffs, they're doing some hallucinogens, I think, and so she actually does play that archetype in White Lotus. But I don't know what she's like in real life. I get the impression she's well, who knows really? But the reason I brought her up as an example is what I'm saying is, you can get a woman who generally most of us are going to say, she's attractive, but maybe she doesn't have that other side to her, so she's not got quite the same catnip about. It's boring though, but then again, is the argument, are we essentially doing what women try and do, where they kind of have the beta bucks safe option, and then they have the alpha fucks bad boy, and they clearly separate those two? Are we trying to amalgamate those two from our perspective into one woman?
It's funny you say that, because I think I actually am trying to do that, because I'm trying to get one who's sweet on the outside, but has got this this shadow side. And then I'm trying to have both of those things at the same time.
And have a nice, stable relationship, which obviously is stacking the chips in the wrong fucking case, isn't it, really?
No, you're right. Cool.
I'm also addicted to that, right? I'm addicted to the lure of that. But is it realistic? And this is the rhetorical question I guess we pose to the audience for those who are actually giving a fuck. Well, of course, the millions watching around the world. But is it just a house built on sand because it's unattainable in one person? I mean, we champion this idea of an archetype for women, that they would be into the dark gentleman. So you've got elements of the provider, the good guy, the door opener, looking after them financially, whatever, leading from a position of compassion. But then you've also got the darkness within that capacity for violence, ruthlessness, danger. I think you can marry it together as one guy, but can you get it in one woman? I'm not sure. I think typically red flag girls, very fun for the short term, but terrible long term.
But that's also the kind of archetype that we play, isn't it? Because I think girlfriends of mine who have wanted to settle down with me or whatever, have probably had that same thing, because it's like, okay, on the one hand, he's got this slightly sort of shadow side, but he's very presentable and he's, pleasant to be around, all this kind of thing. So they want it to work as in one person. But I mean, I have to say, from being on my side of the fence, it's never really worked. I've always sort of fucked it up in some way. So probably women are the same. I mean, probably the women I would date, you would think, oh, she's a really nice girl. Because a lot of these women, it's just because she's got a shadow side. It doesn't mean she's not kind. It doesn't mean she hasn't got a nurturing. Like, it doesn't mean you can have all these things in the same person. But if somebody's fundamentally unstable, is it going to end well? Probably not, because she's going to go off and cheat, or she's going to go off and do some drugs, or she's going to go, just some weird shit's going to happen at some point. But then, like you said, I mean, maybe you just enjoy it for the moment, given that everything ends badly anyway.
That's the ultimate thing, isn't it? Okay. Yeah. Point number 6.
Have you ever been to Switzerland?
That was some quite intense kind of channel picture he's got there, isn't it? Just a big pair of pecs.
Yeah. Okay, so the next point is the meta lesson: why men ignore all of this. So this is all these red flags. Men ignore red flags because of, number 1, attraction blindness. Beauty overrides logic. Number 2, chaos feels exciting. Drama can feel like passion. Number 3, this is an interesting one: ego. Men believe they can handle the chaos. Number 4, hero complex. Men think they can save broken women. Spoiler, they usually cannot. But actually, I have to say that one, number 4, the hero complex thing, the sort of wanting to fix her, wanting to save her, I do have that a little bit. I mean, it's not my first go-to, but there's a tiny bit of that. Do you know what I mean? I think there is this protective thing that comes in. And it's not that I think I can save them, but I do sort of want to try and look after them a bit. But Is that ever realistic, right? Probably not,
Yeah. I mean, but I think that's just part of the masculine. You kind of want to care for the feminine and lead the feminine, right? So that's built in anyway as a natural default thing.
But you hear this the other way around as well. You hear women who they will take on guys who are broken in some way because they think they can fix them.
Well, that's the ultimate thing, isn't it? The woman tries to fix the guy into her idealized image and then ends up hating what she's created and dumping him.
Yeah.
And that's the whole death by 1,000 concessions routine, right? And it's in that book Paul Janka recommended, Practical Female Psychology for the Practical Man. They will try and mold you and then hate what they molded you into. And ultimately, that's frame control. It's like being on your mission, knowing what you stand for. Don't dissolve into one organism with a woman, right?
I saw a meme about this morning. This was that thing, The Onion, that magazine, So this has actually reached The Onion now. That joke or that meme is so mainstream now, because The Onion had this thing. I saw on Instagram this morning. It was it said the headline on the fake news story was woman molds man into somebody that she's no longer attracted to, then dumps it.
That's exactly it.
It had the news story underneath it. It was like, when I first met him, he was, playing rock and roll in a rock and roll band. He was playing in these bars. I thought he was so cool and blah, blah, blah. And then she just basically made him move in with her in a tiny flat. And then, he stopped playing in the band. He stopped sort of, had to get a proper job to make money to pay for the apartment she wanted. And then she's like, I wasn't into him anymore, but I hope we can still be friends.
I mean, that's how many relationships play out, unfortunately. And then we often find the guy in a semi-mangled state after he's just been dumped. And his whole life has just been, he's let his whole life be just, flattened by the woman. And that's his fault.
Yeah.
It's not her fault.
Women, I don't think women are setting out to do this. I just don't think they really, it seems like a good idea at the time, because they're like, oh, there's the guy. He's playing guitar. He's super cool. He's a bit, I can't quite grab hold of him, but, he's really attractive. Wouldn't it be nice if I could tame him and make him into a house husband, and then we could just live happily ever after? But what they don't realize, and maybe because how would you know until you've done it? What they don't realize is when that guy has become that tamed version of himself, suddenly she's like, oh, I'm not really feeling this anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if they are necessarily doing it. I don't think they're doing it out of malice, but I think it's just.
I think it's subconscious erosion. They talk about it in that book as through a evolutionary psychology lens of it's just built into them. They slowly erode the guy that's invested in them, and then they reproduce with him, but they start looking at other options. It's built in apparently just as evolution. So I don't know if they're consciously aware of what they're doing or whether it's just a subconscious behavior.
I don't think they are, because I mean it would just be such a weird plan. It would be such a shit life plan, wouldn't it? To like, oh, I'm gonna get this guy and I'm gonna make him something that I'm not attracted to, and then I'm gonna have to split up with him. I mean, I don't think anybody would really want to do that.
I think most men's frame is really weak. Yeah, it's like a watered down version of like a Black Widow spider, isn't it? The female eats the man after mating. It's kind of a watered down version of that, right? In humans, but we see it often. We'll see the guy, he's just eroded away who he is, and he's not the same guy the woman signed up for. So yeah, the woman is just like, oh, this isn't not.
So this is something. This is one of those things that we have to understand this, and we have to guard against this, even as the woman is trying to mold us in the way that she's just thinks is the right thing to do, because we almost have to be the bigger person for both of you. And say, no, hang on a minute, I'm going to remain a little bit independent. I'm going to have my own interests. I'm going to do my own thing, because you won't like it. You don't have to say this to her, but in our head, we've got to be like, you won't like it. You think you'll like it if I tame myself, but actually you won't.
100%, because the nesting ritual is to move in, to get the girl just default tries to get the guy to move in without really realizing the more time you spend around anyone, male or female, the more you grow to resent them and all the excitement dies. But that's the default protocol of women, right? The nesting ritual. They don't really think it through. So I think it's a really good point. You have to manage the relationship in advance, knowing these things, and then decide how you're going to play it most effectively.
Yeah, because the woman, especially, let's say if she's younger than you, she doesn't maybe have as much experience. She probably hasn't even thought through this stuff. So she's just going to push it in the way that naturally she's inclined to push it. Like, oh, let's move in together. Let's, she doesn't really know, but we have to be the bigger man, literally, and be like, no, let's not do that, because ultimately that's going to be bad for us if we go totally down that route. But
the key is just don't take it personally. Just operate from a higher level perspective of like, no, let's do that move. Let's play that correctly, right? Without just being butthurt. Don't blame it on the woman.
Easier said than done, though, isn't it? Nevertheless,
of course, we've all been there. I mean, look, the ex I was dating, we were together for 7 years. We moved in for 6 weeks during COVID, and that was it. I moved to Sweden, and that was the end of it. So it's not for the faint of heart living with a woman. No. Your game has got to be incredibly tight. You've really got to understand this stuff inside out. Relationships are the hardest games to play. Being single is easy. If a girl fucks up, you just find someone else. Now, often our clients are fucked anyway because they just can't even approach. They've got no funnel to bring in women. But if you are able to approach, being a single guy and dating casually is playing on fucking easy mode. So if you're struggling even with that, you've got a rude awakening coming when you enter a relationship, because it's not easy mode, it's hard mode.
No, it's a lot harder, I would say.
Especially if you live with a girl. It's incredibly, that's the most testing it's ever going to be. You need constant frame control. You've got to go away, keep it exciting. You've got to continue with your own pursuits. You've got to make sure you don't spend too much time with each other. I mean, if you really want to play on hard mode, move in with a woman and see how that goes. Not understanding this stuff.
I think there's a power imbalance in relationships, because we all know that by and large, women are going to be able to shack up with somebody else more easily than men are. And even if you're really adept at this stuff, you know that your girlfriend could go out on the same night and meet somebody, and he'd probably propose marriage to her, or at least want to sleep with her, or whatever. I mean, look, I know it's not quite as easy as that, but you know what I'm saying. Women just have much more opportunities than guys, even guys who are quite adept at this stuff. So there's this weird power imbalance, because you're in the relationship, she's asking for certain things, or she's sort of saying, oh, I wish we didn't live in this crappy area of town. Wouldn't it be nice if we lived in a better area like my friends do, and all of that? And you're sitting there feeling bad about it, and you're thinking, well, and she's looking at you as if you're to blame, which, it's like, well, if only you had a better job, if only you could afford to rent in a better place. But the subtext to that, even if she doesn't say it, is I could go out and find some guy who does. So you're feeling that pressure the whole time. Because the reality is, she probably could go out and meet some dude who can get a flat in that fancy area of town, and you can't. So what do? You're constantly being compared. Even if she's not cheating, even if she never cheats, she never goes out, talks to anybody else, anything else, there's still that underlying competition that you haven't escaped. Just because you're in a relationship with her, you haven't escaped the competitive element of the dating market, have you?
No, and now given Instagram, and women are constantly on that 8 hours a day, seeing what's possible, even if it's AI, even if it's not realistic for them, their expectations are through the fucking roof.
Yeah.
So good luck trying to do this stuff in 2026 if you're unable to put yourself in the arena and learn. You are screwed, and that's why we see a lot of guys MGTOWing it. But it's not a way out. I'm sorry, you're not going to be content. We weren't designed to live by ourselves without female company entirely, right? Or male company. It's all very well just going, no, I'm done with all this shit. welcome to a life of drudgery and unhappiness, because you're not a monk floating above a mountain. You've got to live in the real world. You need connection.
I think a lot of I actually recorded a quick video about this recently. I think a lot of guys who say that, I think it's fine to say that for a bit. And some of these guys are really young as well. So imagine if you're 25. Imagine if you're 25, it's like, yeah, man, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. I'm checking out, lads. It sounds good on your incel kind of forum. You can impress you can be the king of the incels, impress everybody else. It's like, oh wow, that guy's really hardcore, he's checking out. Well, fine, but you're only 25. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. How are you going to feel in 5 years, in 10 years? And if you want to have children as well, you're going to have to either accept the fact that that's never going to happen, or you're going to have to think, well, how am I going to get that handled? And the point that I was making in the video is that, so you say, right, I'm just going to sit this one out. And then 4 or 5 years later, you start to change. We all change. You start to get a different idea. You're like, oh, actually, hang on a minute. I was a bit hasty then. I was just trying to impress all these guys in the group chat. Actually, I would quite like to have a relationship. I would quite like to have a normal life. And then you try and go out into the dating arena then, and you're 5 years behind everyone else. And by then, you've got AI Stavroses who are, I mean, so then you're in a triple bad situation, because not only have you wasted years, but you're also behind other guys who've moved forward with this stuff and actually figured it out.
Well, we've got a current client who you've met a few times who hasn't joined us for a while, but Eddie, the Habits guy, is working with, and he's 45, so he's in his prime. And he's like, no, what I'm going to do, he said this to Eddie as a genuine thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait 10 years, I'm going to take 10 years off dating, wait till I hit my retirement age with the government at 55, then start cold approaching again. And Eddie and me were just like going, mate, are you fucking... he smokes weed every day. He's just obviously weed-induced psychosis, thinking that's a good idea. What a terrible fucking idea! And he's a good-looking dude that you'll know who this. We'll call him Mr. G. You've definitely met him before. Good-looking, 6'3", all-American. Got his shit jacked. Got his shit together. Looks a bit like the main guy from Mad Men. But what a terrible idea! Think, right, I'm just going to take 10 years off and then come back to it at 55. I mean, what the fuck are you thinking?
No, terrible idea. Terrible idea.
You've got to get into this stuff as quickly as possible. It is social skills. It is a learnable skill. Yeah. And it's also about maxing out your value. You don't have any time to waste. Like, you've got to get on with this stuff,
Yeah. Got another point here.
Point number 7.
Number 7. The truth about stable women. Important contrast. Calm women often seem less dramatic, less intoxicating early on, but they are consistent, emotionally healthy, respectful of boundaries. I'm falling asleep already. You can say something like, the women who actually bring peace to your life rarely announce themselves with fireworks. Well, so it's... I don't know. What do you make of that?
We went through this the other day, didn't we? Mark Manson saying basically, if it's too intoxicating up front, it's a red flag. It should be, and that's implying it should be a slow burner. But honestly, if I'm not wowed by the girl to start with, it's not getting off the ground. I don't really buy into this slow burner policy, fallacy. I think you've got to connect with them on a visceral level, right? Sexual chemistry. There's got to be that there quite quickly. Obviously, you know that when you sleep with them, but before that, there's just this vibe. Krauser used to call it the DNA tug. It's reciprocal. It's on both sides. You just each other's type. And if that's not there, you're fighting an uphill battle, aren't you? You're negotiating desire.
I can't think of anyone that I've actually ever dated where it was a slow burn, really.
What does it even mean, a slow burner? You're not attracted to them at the beginning and then they grow on you after a while? Or what does it even mean? Or you are attracted to them viscerally, but they're just a bit flat, but you realize actually after time, they're a good stable option for him. Is that what it means? I'm not even sure what it means.
Well, I think the way I would see it would be more, she's not super exciting when you meet her. Maybe, I mean, look, it can't be that you're entirely not attracted to her. Maybe she's quite attractive, but she's not, it's not like she's, who's that Cuban Bond girl? Anna de Armas.
Oh, mate, so I find her really, I think she's a smoke show, that one. I know who you mean.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying she's not her.
She's not. I thought you were going to say she is now, and I was getting excited. Not her. I love it. Instead of comparing it to someone, you go, it's not that one. And now all I can think about, it's like saying, don't think of the pink elephant. All I can now think about is that fucking Bond girl, right? She's a smoke show. Those big bushy eyes, bright-eyed, bushy tailed. She's a worldie. Yeah.
No, she is.
How old is she? How old is she? I want to know. Bond girl. What was the last Bond called? Bond girl, Cuban actress.
Well, she's got Anna de Armas, I think she's called.
Yes, that's her name. Yeah, exactly that. And she is. What's your guess on her age?
She's in her 30s, I think.
They're always surprisingly old, aren't they? 37. She's 2 years younger than me.
No.
God, yeah. What? Surprised by that?
Well, I'm surprised she's 37, yeah.
She's 168, so that's at least 5 foot taller than Les. 168 in feet.
Yeah, 168 is quite tall, isn't it?
Sorry, that's not. Is that? Anadromous height. I'm just going to get it in fucking 168 meters. What the fuck is that? In feet. Here we go. It doesn't convert properly. 14,000 foot. How many feet is this? 5'5". Yes. So she's good. Good 5'5". She's a good 5 inches taller than Les. So yeah, by Les's standards, she's a giant. He's looking up. He's born of Hobbit stock. Anyway, what was the point in talking about her? Apart from we'd both absolutely drop the soap for 7 Max and Super Max prison to get nearer.
What was the point? Yeah,
you were saying she wasn't her.
I think. Yeah, so the point is that this woman who's a slow burn, I think, is somebody you meet who isn't like that. It isn't like somebody who you're instantly think, oh, she's amazing, right? She's sort of
she grows
enough,
on you,
but it's not so.
She grows on you.
She grows on you. Yeah. And I think that's how a lot of relationships actually do start for normal people, because I think like work colleagues and people who meet at university and stuff like that, I get the sense it's a bit more like that. Whereas the way that I suppose I've done it, and I think the way we've done it is sort of, well, for a start, we're approaching people that we are viscerally attracted to from the off, and then we're trying to make something happen with that. So it's a very self-selecting group from the start, and then the ones who are, keen to play ball, obviously they're already from that pre-selected group, and then we're tending to move to sort of getting intimate very quickly. So we're not having any of this build-up nonsense. It just doesn't come into the equation, I don't think, in my dating life at all.
There is something to be said for that, because I've been, when I used to work in offices, there'd be work colleagues that initially I'm just like, she's not that hot, but then spending a lot of time with her, they start to grow on you. But if you put them in the wild, you wouldn't even look at them. So it's this weird, like you desire. They can be growers, not showers, because you're actually around them a lot, and you start to just think, oh, actually, presumably it works both ways as well. Women to men. So there is something to be said for that.
I think proximity is
underrated.
Is shown in some data to be like quite a big precursor to attraction, but it's also a terrible piece of advice to give men. Just be near her for 10 years and hopefully she'll like you, because that's the
issue. Because you don't man up, you don't put it on the line, right? And that's the problem with social circle game. You're sat there hoping, oh, once she finishes with Tom, maybe I'll get my shot. It's just, that's a fucking terrible place to be, right? We've all
it's a terrible place to be, but it can happen.
Yes,
just by coincidence. Like you can have a lucky break, but she's seen you around a lot, and she comes to like you, and then that can happen. But you have to be lucky for that to happen. It's not skill. So if you're basing your whole romantic life on that, oh, I hope Sharon from accounts looks at me one day, then that's just a terrible, terrible way to go.
You're still in scarcity, and ultimately the point of cold approach is you're giving yourself back the sovereignty. It's like that show Take Me Out, where Paddy McGuinness hands the guy the power. It's like that. You're handing yourself the power by giving yourself permission to approach random women. Travel the world approach, because I thought you were going to bring up Stavros. You brought up who?
I've lost Stavros somewhere.
Is that an Operation U-Tree notice, or shut that one down fast, son? Ballerina Los Angeles Premier. Is that her? The woman of the moment?
Yeah,
not somewhere. No, it's not. She's gone downhill. Jesus. Anna de Armas doesn't look as good there, does she? But yeah, anyway, the point being, don't rely on social circle. Go out and cold approach, because it gives you, there's a certain beauty. Me and Eddie were, rolling around today. We didn't do anything, but we're talking about this exact point, which is, it doesn't even matter if you get blown out. But if you go and approach 3 women, you genuinely think, oh, fuck, I'm going to give it a shot. You're taking power back. You're becoming a sovereign man. There's a beauty to that.
Yeah. That really is the main selling point of it, I think, because you are bringing some sort of autonomy back. Now,
it's not.
But
Complete
it's not just the
autonomy,
main
you
selling
can't just
point. It's if you
select
actually fucking it's if you level up with stuff and go relentlessly with it, you can bang some absolute stunners. You know, you can make crazy stuff happen. So that's the main selling point. But there is a certain beauty just in taking the action where you feel amazing. You're like, oh fuck, this is how it should be. You know, it's hard to explain that if you've never cold approached.
Yes.
Point number 8.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm not.
Well, that's kind of it, really. We've got one more point, but I'm just on this stable women thing. I'm not sure on this. But I think the point I would make though is that there's degrees of difference though, because even though, let's say, all the girls that we've met have been pretty much visceral attraction straight off, but that doesn't mean they're all as intense from the off. So I think when we're talking about these super intense ones, that it gets a bit red flaggy. That's a sort of minority, isn't it, of the ones that we met. So I haven't done the we met and we were friends for 5 years and then we got together. I haven't done that kind of thing. But at the same time, not every single girl that I've dated or been casual with has been a complete red flag maniac either. Like some of them are, some of them it's just less intense. You know, we get on, she's pretty, we have a good time, but it's not that kind of all encompassing thing. That's quite rare, but when it happens, it's quite powerful, isn't it? Well,
it's ultimately all we have to remember is the intensity. I would say men should go out and absolutely experiment with women from all over the place, and you're going to meet some. Hopefully, you will meet some red flag women in there, but the intensity of the connection is going to be something you remember forever. You know, so I think you should experience this stuff. If I think about the best sex I've ever had, it's been with red flag girls, right? It's the intensity, it's the chemistry, it's the passion. So go and experience that shit. Life ultimately for me is just about experience, a breadth of experience, good, bad, the ugly. Embrace it all, because once you're dead, it goes to nothing. So ultimately, don't try and label the feeling as good or bad. Just go and experience it. So go out, date women that are not your type, loads of tattoos, piercings, date women, date a variety of women, because you've got to figure out what the fuck you want. And along that journey of figuring out what the fuck you want in women, you're going to meet some that are not good long-term fits, but are really fun. And ultimately, why not? Have a bit of fun. Who cares?
We've got a final Jerry Springer thought here. Which is, every man ignores red flags at some point. The real skill isn't avoiding them completely. It's recognizing them earlier before the chaos becomes your life.
Not bad. And we always say, look, if you want look for red flags in women, if you want short-term flings. Yes. Because, the Rich Cooper spinning in his nutsack with Fury, the tattoos, the piercings, all of this stuff, it's a guarantee usually the Bugatti is going to be up for quick fun.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, Rich Cooper, good business advice, decent bloke, but he's a bit fucking boring, isn't he? I mean, all of those red flags that he talks about, I think you should be actively, if you're in your 20s, you should be actively screening for those red flags.
They're green flags for short-term flings. Absolutely agree. Agree.
The thing with people like Rich Cooper is he's coming at it from a very sort of conservative, sort of small town kind of agenda, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? He's sort of like, this is the kind of girl that would shock the neighbors. He's looking at them as sort of like, is she main girl material? Is she marriage material? But that's not always what you're looking for. It might be a certain point in your life, but most of the time, especially when you're younger, it probably isn't, to be honest. So who cares? Who cares if she's got tattoos? I mean,
trust me. The best sex is you're always going to have with slightly red flagish women. It's always going to be intense, visceral, and exciting, and you fucking remember it. So ultimately, all we have is memories. Get stuck in, lads, literally and metaphorically. Yes. You can catch your chips out eventually with a boring woman, but why not just enjoy it? It's literally the sort of advice Women's Mag gives to women, isn't it? Go and fuck the bad boys, then settle down with the fucking boring one at the end. But we can do that same advice the other way around, really. Fuck around in Latin America like I do. That's where I go 6 months a year to tick shit off the sexual bucket list, because Argentina, Mexico, Brazil, Colombia, and now Venezuela back on the menu. Super passionate, short-term sexual cultures. Great for short-term flings. And then I spent half the year on the baby mama hunt in former Soviet Union, where the women typically are low body count, very cultured, want to form a family bond very quickly, early age. So you can have your cake and eat it, literally and metaphorically.
Yes.
Everything is on the menu. The all-you-can-eat menu.
Indeed. So should we go through a few parish notices?
Parish notices. We got 5 minutes to do parish notices before we hit the 50-minute mark and call it a day.
Okay, well, would be interesting to know if you could only live in one country for dating for the next 20 years and not leave, what would it be?
Either Brazil or Russia for me.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, Colombia, Poland, Ukraine. If it,
Thailand also very good.
I mean, the crumpled notes work anywhere, though, man. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, with
It's just,
crumpled notes.
it's just how many crumpled notes you need,
and how crumpled they are as well. The more crumpled, the better.
Yeah. This is a really important question. Will the war in Iran make it harder to approach women?
In Iran, yes, I would say it would do.
Yeah.
In Tehran. We joke that there are some very, very attractive Persian women. They're a very fine stock. You see a lot in Sweden. There's a lot of kind of second generation Persians, half Swedish, half Persian living there. Very attractive women, very feminine.
Yeah. I mean, this is a bit of a downer, Mr. John Smith. How do you meet new women when you are grieving the loss of someone else? I don't know,
well, Urush has finally entered the chat. What can we say?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe we need to take a bit of time out, but I mean,
I disagree. I think the best way to get over one woman is get under 10 more. I'm big on the advice of not sitting in your own wanking listening to Lana Del Rey. It's get the fuck out and socialize. I really do think that's the key because I've done both policies and way faster if you just get out and move on. But ultimately, like I've had my heart broken. But if I think about when I've had my heart broken, I've always been in complete scarcity. So I have no fun of meeting new women. I'm completely reliant on the women I'm dating for affection, for sex, for validation. And you've got to go and be a sovereign individual and just start being a social animal. Because if you're able to go and speak to women consistently, you soak up that feminine vibe elsewhere. And you're not so reliant on the one person you're with. Yeah. So if I look back as a learning point, it's just never be fully tied to one woman, have options, become an attractive man that can go out and get new women. And then you're never at the mercy too much.
Yeah, yeah. All right. What
were you going to say? What were you going to say? It sounded like
I was saying, which is a little bit sad in a way, because it would be nice. In some ways, it'd be nice, wouldn't it, if you could just say, "Oh, the romantic thing." No, you just find a great girl, and you can just be, just really commit to her. Make sure you do everything that she says, and she'll be super happy, happy wife, happy life, and it'll be great. But unfortunately, our experience dictates otherwise. So, you've got to play the game as it's laid out, haven't you?
Let's read out this one. I get signals, Mr. Tusking, sir, from women touching the hair, still deeting that they're interested in me. Why, Mr. Tuskings? I need to add white women to my harem. I don't know.
I think he means still denying that they're interested in me. Well, what hair are they touching for a start? Are we talking? Are we?
Just standing there frigging themselves off. But then they call the police when I try to touch them. I mean, I don't know what's going on here, Mr. VB Nkill. I didn't need to give him an Indian accent as well. That was a bit judgmental.
Yeah, he might be from any nationality or ethnicity from worldwide, but whatever. You need to come out and join us for coaching because, I mean, look, people talk about signals. It's like, how good are you at reading signals, though? Are you
most blokes are fucking useless at reading signals because they're in their own head, right?
I've never, eye contact is a far better indicator of if somebody's interested than touching hair. I mean, touching hair is the one that gets talked about in mainstream body language books and stuff. But, I mean, I don't know. I suspect that you're misreading the signals, to be honest. And they actually just weren't that interested. But we don't know because we don't know anything about you. So, anything else?
Any final parish notices? Can pay for connection, lads. Have a load of friends in other areas of life. Does he mean get the crumpled notes out as a dating, long-term dating option? Or what's he mean?
I'm not sure. Sorry, don't understand that one, Eclipse. Walking up, I'm becoming increasingly resentful. I mean, the stream wasn't that bad. I know it's late in the day, but I mean...
If you watch any of this content and you're not actually out there talking to women and trying to level up with this stuff, you're going to start feeling bitter about it because the sexual market is a cruel place. And those that don't take action get eaten alive. So, understandable. But the power is in your hands. You've got to get out and do something.
Yeah, because the whole point of all of this and the doom-laden titles and all the rest of it is to try to shock you into awareness of what's going on. But the point is not then to say, all right, so just sit in it forever. The point is, but you can do something about it, but you have to take action. And that's what we're trying to promote. And, ideally, it's you pay us a lot of money and you come on one of our boot camps. But even if you don't, if do it on your own or you work with another coach or whatever, that's fine. But you need to be doing something. You need to be taking some action.
100%.
How about we finish with this one? Do you guys, after being single, dating a lot, spinning plates, get in a phase of not being able to connect easy on a deeper level with girls when LTR comes in?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because we've both had our hearts broken. You know, as Rod Stewart once crooned, the first cut is the deepest. You do automatically kind of protect yourself after that. And you don't really want to experience that again. But ultimately, the strongest action would be open to see where it goes and not try and protect yourself. Live with an open heart, as David would say. But it's easier said than done just to hedge your bets and try and be avoidant, right? So it's a good point. Does it work the same for women as it does for men? Because we know from data that if women do fuck a load, it is harder for them to pair bond. Do you think it works the same for men? Do you think you're now more unable to form a relationship after all your experience? Because of that experience?
I suppose so, yeah. I suppose so in a way, yeah, because if we're talking about, I mean, I'm certainly a lot more avoidant than I used to be.
So the more success you've had, the more avoidant you become. Direct correlation.
Yeah, but success is always, it's always a sort of bitter pill. It's a poison chalice in a way, isn't it? Because, yeah, you get successes, but then you get a lot of things then ultimately fucking up as well. So,
yeah,
no one gets out of this game alive.
So to answer this question, do you think it is harder to connect on a deeper level with girls after all this experience?
Yeah, but it's interesting. He says, though, do you get in a phase of it? So that would imply that maybe. So I think, yeah. Well, I mean, look, if you've just come out of a toxic situation, you might be like, no, fuck that. I don't want to have any. I'm not open to anything. And then, like, a bit of time passes, and then, yeah, maybe you are a bit more open to it again. I think it would be very hard for. I think it's become increasingly hard for me to go into something with that kind of, you know, teenager in a rom-com energy of like, oh yeah, I'm just going to open my heart to her and let's see what happens. I mean, I don't know if I could ever go back to that. But could I be open to someone and try and build something with them? Yeah, probably. I mean.
There is a beauty to connecting someone on a deeper plane, and let's be honest. I mean, for me, and the same for you, I think now we've done our time in the trench with one night stands. I don't particularly like doing one night stands anymore. I want to fuck a girl, and if I'm into her, I want to see her again and have that honeymoon romance, and I can connect deeply. So there is a beauty to that. Is it harder to do after loads of experience? Not necessarily. If you play it case by case basis.
I think you've just got to recognize that each person is a new person. It's not your ex. It's not the girl that fucked you over in high school. It is a completely new person. Now, there'll be people here who go, yeah, but all women are the same. But they're not really. I mean, there are, you know, people are going to act differently. It's different situations, different setups. And I think you've just got to be open to that.
It's an interesting question, though. It's genuinely interesting.
Maybe we could do a stream with that.
Well, again, the frame I like to use, which sounds morbid, but it's not, is it always ends bad, which allows, for me, massively takes the pressure off. So then I can just enjoy the moment with a Brazilian girl I've met for a few weeks and go really deep with her, but be okay with the fact I may never speak to her again. And now I'm not bitter about that. I don't grasp on. I go with that J. Krishnamurti thing. If I don't mind the key secret, I don't mind what happens because I accept it always ends bad at some stage. Death do you part, someone cheats. So weirdly, if you use that lens, you can paradoxically go deeper because you're not attached.
Yeah.
But it's taken a lot of fucked up relationships and a lot of me fucking it up to reach that point where I just, because I don't care anymore, it's easier to connect in a way.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tricky one, really. Tricky question to answer because I think in many ways I can connect with people quite deeply, even on a first meeting or even on a first.
Because it's a trained skill, isn't it? You've learned over hundreds of dates to be able to do that as well. Because that's
and I am genuinely, and that's the other thing. I mean, Mr. Dr. Silk, how does it feel? You know, we talk about genuine curiosity. Are you genuinely curious? Do you genuinely want to find out about her? And I usually am, to be honest. Like I do genuinely find people interesting. Like I want to find out more. Blah blah blah. It doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to spend the rest of my life with her. So that's the sort of dichotomy because I can do it in the moment. I can get really deep with them. I can talk about their childhood and all this kind of shit, and then just fuck off and never see them again. So I'm not sure where that gets you.
True,
but yeah, I don't know. It's all a journey, lads. I mean, we can probably can it now. But Tusk, from your experiences, aren't red flags better in bed? He said that already.
Yeah, 100%. If I think about the best sex I've had over the last 5 years, it's been absolutely red flag girls. But it's just how intense connection, red flags all over the place. I mean, some of the best sex I've had was with a girl in Colombia who was in a bloody relationship and the husband was watching me porker. I mean, that just goes to show the depth of depravity, how the universe works in paradoxical ways. It's like, yeah. Les had a weird look on his face while David was watching as I entered the height. Weird gig. But that wig was good from that magic shop, so that was cool. Yeah, I mean, it's just the paradox of the universe, right? Yeah. Often the most intense connections. Maybe Mark Manson was right to circle back around to his point. Often, if it is very intense at the beginning, it is a red flag in itself. Because the best sex, if I think about it, the most intense physical connection I've had, have all been with red flag women. And again, they say you attract what you are, not what you want. So what does that say about me? A walking red flag, as I was called the other day by someone. Yeah,
exactly.
Actually, from a woman, it is a compliment because then she rolls around and fucks you. So absolutely, it's a bit like if a girl calls you an asshole. Oh, you're such an asshole. That's a massive compliment. Don't ever be deceived thinking that's bad, or you're a jerk, right? If you're maybe based in the States, massive compliment. If you're being called a nice guy, it's the kiss of death. She's already sucking off the plumber, I'm afraid. So get out there and don't do our course the edge. Join us in an edgy place like Buenos Aires, Colombia, or Mexico, and get stuck in, lads.
So John Smith says, any tips for someone who attaches too quickly? Well, I mean, only don't attach too quickly. I mean, but that's it, easy to say, not so easy to do. But we, again, and look, if you want help with this side of things, drop us an email, troy@realtroyfrancis or info@jamestuss.com, because we do work with clients who have exactly this issue. In fact, quite a number of clients. And we have to sort of try to counsel them through these situations. But I mean, fundamentally, you shouldn't be dropping everything for somebody that you've only just met. Then you need to hold yourself back. Even if you have to make an effort to do it, you've got to hold yourself back a little bit. Don't just put your heart on a slab and give it to her.
I think you were you guilty of this? Because it was absolutely my wheelhouse. I'd fall desperately in lust with women, and I still do, because I love intense connection. And you could say in itself that's a red flag for me, but it's something I've really had to manufacture not doing that.
Well, I definitely fell down that rabbit hole, and then I had to sort of.
And now you're just the most avoidant man ever to be created. You've gone completely.
Well, I had to consciously pull it back for a while, and then it became less me trying to do it, and it came more naturally. But I mean, even I can get tripped up from time to time. I mean,
it's very hard, isn't it? I did recently with a girl in Sao Paulo. She just rolled round. It was a grey area app, but it was just fireworks from the second she walked in. Intense physical attraction, intense chemistry in bed. And, it's been ridiculous, but I've literally thought about it for the last 2 weeks. And I haven't messaged her because I don't want to stuff it up with my needy vibes from my text. But, just all over the place. So if the girl hits you on a certain level, it's very hard not to fall in lust. I find that really, really hard.
Yeah. We've got a very important question here.
Well, no, hold on. What about that steak bake one? He's named one of my favourite British producers there.
Sorry. Okay.
Was the hubby eating a steak baked tusk and his pork scratchings with the missus? It wasn't. It was in Colombia, so he's eating a wrapper. It was
if it had been in Romford, then maybe. But
I'll tell the story quite quickly because it's funny. So she will remain nameless, but attractive girl, very much my type. Message on Tinder, matched on Tinder. And she immediately just went off the first message, when are you coming around? I was like, hold on. I mean, Colombian sexual, but this is next level. Like, this got something didn't feel off, something right. So I went around, knocked on the door, and the door was opened by this bloke, American bloke. And I'm like, oh, hey, is Miss M there? He was like, oh, yeah, James, come in. And I was like, okay. Went in there, they just kind of stood there. She was looking smoke show. He's just there chilling. I'm like, okay, let's just see what the situation brings. So we're drinking, playing the question game, whatever. He goes for a piss about 40 minutes in. I turned to Miss M. I said, Miss M, what's going on? She goes, oh, by the way, just to spring it on you, that's my husband. And I was like, do you mind if, is that an issue? And I was like, depends. Is he wanting to kind of cross into the sausage-based side with me? She was like, no. He just likes to watch. So I was like, yeah, I'm cool with that, whatever. Because she was really my type. So basically, just started getting with her. The husband comes in, with his old boy out, kind of sitting in a chair. That classic kind of porn thing. Please bang my wife. And that went on and off for about 4 years, But intense physical chemistry.
Did you ever hang out with them afterwards, though? Was it sort of like, or were you friendly with the guy at all, or was it just sort
not really? Like I was really just being used for my beautiful beautiful face, wasn't I? And great abs. Like, let's be honest, I was just the meat in the sandwich for their entertainment. You know, like a piece of used up bratwurst in a German food market. But I didn't mind it. I was happy with it.
Yeah.
But the problem came because it was such an intense physical attraction. I found myself falling in lust with her, and I had to really pull back because there was no chance she was ever leaving this dude. And to be honest, I didn't really want to. My life is not set up for that.
Yeah.
But it's
well, this is the thing. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
This is the thing, isn't it? So, I mean, in relation to the last question, it's sort of like sometimes you have to consciously do it. I'm not sure there's an easy answer to how do you not catch feelings, except you've got to tell yourself, right, this is a very specific situation. It's not going to go any further than this, and that's it. And you've got to almost box it off in your mind. And I've done that very successfully a lot of times, but I've also fucked it up. And one of the times I fucked it up was with that Romanian girl that I was telling the story about when she had the boyfriend who wasn't present during any of the intercourse, I have to say, but she had the boyfriend. I sort of fell in lust with her, and I wanted her all to myself, and then she didn't leave the boyfriend, and blah, blah, blah.
But she was Romanian. Interesting plot twist. In Manchester?
No, it was in London. It was in London.
Okay.
She
I had it as an English girl. Okay.
No, she was very... Well, anyway, she was really beautiful, Romanian girl, super, super intelligent, though. She was at LSE. She was doing a PhD at LSE. Yeah.
What was the next one after this? Something about ladyboys, also my wheelhouse. I mean, Les's.
How do I tell the difference between ladyboys and normal Thai girls? My arse is sore because I think he means mixing them up, not like ladyboy Max.
My arse is sore because I keep making some banter from the lads. I mean, my ladyboy story with old Tim Tam, very feminine, pretty girl, massive tits in Thailand. Went back to my hotel, pushed her on the bed, and went to take off her dress. And I've never seen a cock that size just come out. It was like a baby's arm holding an apple, like huge schlong. And I was just like, Tim Tam, what's going on? And she was like, please, Mr. James, let's just do a round extra sausage. And I was like, I wasn't angry. I was like, you almost had me, Tim Tam. You've got to go. She was like, no, but please, Mr. James. But it just goes to show Thailand's hard because often the most pretty feminine girls who have the best game turn out to be ladyboys.
You can tell Tez is just really picturing the scene, can't you? He's really like, oh, was the guy masturbating? Like, he really wants to know. So what angle was he sitting in the chair watching you?
I seem to have this weird thing. I've done this about 3 or 4 times. It doesn't particularly turn me on, but the girl just happens to be my type, and the husband seems to want to see me, charge in. He was definitely, he found it. This is a common thing I've seen with a lot of guys in like going to parties. It's almost like there is a phase of hot wifing now. It's like a test of your emotional control. Can you rent out your wife in front of you and have her get banged and just have no reaction? I mean, it doesn't turn me on. I would not. It's a fate worse than death for me, but
it doesn't turn me on at all. And also, it's a lot of fucking. It just seems like a lot of. I mean, can't these guys get another hobby? Can't you get into bird watching or something?
It would be a lot easier. Surely there's going to be some jealousy feels mixed up there. Like, surely you're going to be slightly jealous.
Maybe that's part of it, though.
Yeah, because it's like experiencing extreme emotion. Like, to be fair, there is a certain beauty to that, right? Take yourself through in the journey of life, every type of emotion. But there's just something, I don't know. Maybe it's something I need to try if I get a wife, just to push my own boundaries, right? I don't know. I don't.
Well, I saw because Sneeko got.
That was it, wasn't it? He rented out his bird, didn't he, to be porked in front of him?
Yeah, and then I saw an Andrew Tate video this morning where Tate was saying that Sneeko was basically saying to Tate, "Oh, but isn't it natural that we should all just try new things, experiment with new things and everything?" And then Tate was like, I knew that he was hitting on me, so I just shut him down.
He wasn't humouring it then.
No, well, he was implying that Sneeko was hitting on him. I don't know. Anyway, just mindless internet drama. But Sneeko got. I can't remember the full facts of that story, but he got kind of rumbled for at least trying that, didn't he? I think a few years ago.
I blame it on the star side, but I'm a Scorpio. I'm extremely jealous. I always have been. And
it's just not. Yeah, it's just not something I would have any interest in doing at all, really, to be honest. I just can't. I think I'm extremely jealous, and it's just not. It's sort of demeaning, but I think the fact that it's demeaning is part of the thrill for these guys in a funny way. It's like a sort of masochism, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a self. But again, yeah. I mean, look, it's one thing. Again, I'm not really on board with this idea. It's one thing having an open relationship, isn't it? Where she goes off and doesn't really rub it in your face. But it's a whole nother level of emotional tolerance, isn't it? When you're actually seeing the girl you really care about getting banged in front of you. I mean, that's just next level. Didn't you say you saw that at a Berlin sex club once? Like this guy, a video of a guy, and it was extreme cuckolding where the alpha guy is banging his wife, the guy's wife, on top of him, like crushing him into the. Yeah.
Oh. I was in some sex club in Berlin with this Russian girl who I was hanging out with at the time, and for some reason they were playing videos of this cuckold porn all around the room, and it was all that, but it was even more than that because the woman, the wife in that scenario was putting on a sort of a, what would you call it, like a sort of this thing that on the guy's penis that stopped him from coming or from being able to touch himself. So he wasn't even able to get any pleasure from the thing at all. And then the guy was basically putting the woman on top of the guy and then fucking her, and he's sort of lying there like this. Well, so it was, yeah.
So weekend in Berlin, let's put that back on the agenda for, we've always said dirty weekend, shadow side experience in Berlin for the lags.
Yeah. Eclipse
is clued up.
Yes. And I have actually seen it. I have seen it in real life actually as well, because when I went to a few things in London, I remember going to this weird event once, and I had a sort of porn cinema type setup, and this guy was standing there while his wife was getting banged by a load of people in front of him, and that was the really grim end of the market as well. These weren't attractive people. Do you know what I mean? It was the dirty Mac brigade. It was really, really grim. But yeah,
was he enjoying it? Did he look like he was enjoying it?
I don't know. I got the impression that she was driving it, to be honest, and he was just sort of putting up with it. But
that's
she
even
was
worse, isn't it? She
was just like some old barmaid type, like, oh fucking hell, and he's like,
smoking a fag, couple of teeth between her, like that kind of EastEnders Pat Butcher.
She was smoking a fag while she was getting railed by these guys.
No,
he's standing there. He's saying, "Oh, this is Barbara likes to do this. I can't turn it down, can I?"
Do you want to smoke, mate? That kind of vibe. That's fucking hilarious. Just the grimness of it. It's like The Office does cuckolding. That kind of vibe. On that pleasant note, any final parish notices, or is that a wrap for the day?
This guy's posted about 4 times about the virtual wingman audio. Great to walk and listen to your deep ramblings while reminding us to go approach. Could be an idea for a paid product.
I mean, you don't. If you really want them, there's about 7 of them. Just send me an email or Troy an email, and I'll send you. It's on SoundCloud. Just me in your ears, just telling you to approach. Or even better, surprise, surprise. What are we going to say? Join us in the flesh, and you get the real world experience where me and Troy are like, get in there, and literally throwing you in. Charge the light brigade, all that vibe. That's the best way.
Exactly. All right.
And guys, then what we actually do with some clients, just final thing, is when we're out doing that, they record the whole audio of the session. So then when they're walking around by themselves, they can play it back. And it's like you're there again, right? That's a way better way of doing it because it's related to you.
So are we going to do one of these tomorrow then, do you think?
I think so.
In the morning?
Should we? Do the masses, does the Fickle Roman Coliseum prefer it at the 11 a.m. London time or the 7 p.m. London? What are we getting more viewers on?
It's about the same, to be honest. It's not hugely more at the moment. So
okay. So I'm easy. What should we go? Tomorrow morning is standard.
Yeah, I think so. Because what day is tomorrow? Yeah, morning's better, I think.
Or can you go slightly later? Because the problem is where I'm sat now is where breakfast happens. So 8 till 10 my time, it's flooded with the great unwashed. That's the only problem.
Right. So what time could you do?
Oh shit! I'm traveling tomorrow. We could aim for actually same time again tomorrow, 4 p.m. 7 p.m. your time. If that doesn't work, we can go to. If that doesn't work, we can just skip it and then do what's the day after?
Thursday. Let's do Thursday because I don't know if I can do evening tomorrow. Anyway, guys, that's doing our little bit of housework there in front of you. But this is that's how the magic happens behind the scenes. All right, Thursday it is. So we'll see you at some point on Thursday. And thanks for tuning in. And join us in Bogota. Troy at realtroyfrancis.com. Info@jamestuss.com.
Sayonara.